Welcome to the FitBiz Accelerator, your ultimate guide to launching, growing, and scaling a thriving online fitness business. I'm your host, Tobias Young. And whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is packed with actionable tips, real-world strategies, and the insights you need to crush your business goals and build the business of your dreams. Now that you're here, let's dive in. What's up, everybody? This is Tobias Young in the house with the FitBiz Accelerator podcast. And today we're going to dive into some marketing strategies. We're going to get into some AI tools, some ways that you can really help grow your business that a lot of you guys either don't know a lot about or aren't using. And I have an amazing special guest that I am beyond excited to have, Mr. Emanuel Rose. Emanuel, thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah, thank you, Tobias. I appreciate having a conversation with you about marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for those people who don't already know a little bit about you, can you share a little bit of your background and how you got into marketing in the first place?
Oh yeah, wow. Got into marketing in about 30 years ago now. So I've always been interested in storytelling, and I've often been on the sales side of the business and uh, generating leads and getting the story out was just a natural part of the progression of the sales process. So that's what I dug into, and I've been running an agency for the last 15 years. So lots of experience that way too.
Fantastic, man. What's one of the top things right off the top of your head? What's one of the marketing lessons that you learned about, and you're like, man, a lot of people just really overlook this, and it's probably going to be AI because that is hitting everybody in the face. And if you are not using AI currently and you're really interested in growing your business, then you're missing out. But is that one of the things that you would be like, dude, if you're not using this, you're dropping the ball?
Yeah, it's one of a few things for sure. I mean, the AI tools that are out there are phenomenal, and just able to as a solopreneur or as a small business, able to really kind of punch above your weight by leveraging some of the tools like Opus Clips, or
Mm-hmm.
there's these services that you can use for generating pay-per-click ads for social media that are AI driven, and they're inexpensive to get into. They're inexpensive to test with, and so you have a real opportunity to test and to see what will work before you put big dollars behind it.
Yeah, 100%, man. What inspired you to get into marketing in the first place, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I think it was just a gap that I saw in some of the businesses that I was involved in as a young entrepreneur. When there's always that blend of sales and marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody really knows where the two are separated, and in a lot of ways, really they overlap. Um, and so, as my very first big project, which was a textile factory and a cut and sew operation. Uh, we I was in charge of sales and marketing, and I was like 21 years old, didn't know anything about it, and made all the mistakes that you can make, and misspent tons of money on advertising, and then really realized from there it's like, oh wow, this is it's an art and a science, and it's not just add water. You got to really pay attention and understand who your ideal client is,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of content and messaging triggers the psychology of those demographics and psychographics, and then how many touches it takes before somebody actually can be triggered into action.
Yeah. What do you think is one of the things that's working right now with the online side of the businesses? Because I know a lot of people, especially since COVID, obviously, are transitioning to the online.
Yeah.
A lot of the audience that we're dealing with right now are fitness business owners. So it's some people that have gyms and some, that are personal trainers, and they're making that transition to the online world. So what would you say are some of the things that they can be like, man, these are some of the things that they can learn on and that are working today?
Well, depending on who ideal client is, right?
Mhm.
Like for personal training, uh, what I'm seeing in some of my clients is that the TikTok ads are really effective. So you might not want to be on TikTok, but you can still buy ads,
Yeah.
and that triggers a lot of activity, top of the funnel activity. Uh, the kind of some of the classic things like lead magnets, right? Like we built out 4 seasons worth of health and fitness and exercise tips, and so every season there's a new ebook, and that's bringing people in on the top of the funnel. Then you can reach out and make other offers to them from there. Um, and then just your straightforward content marketing, where you're blending health and fitness tips, you're blending video of yourself, or you're blending position papers. Like we just wrapped up a piece on Ozempic and training, and why somebody who's on those types of meds really still needs training to counter the muscle loss, right? So staying on top of topics and taking positions, sometimes in opposition, sometimes supporting, to be able to create some subject matter expertise, and prove that you know what you're talking about in a tangible way.
Yeah. So you were mentioning creating some lead magnets. And for those of you who don't know what a lead magnet is, a lead magnet is something that you can create that gives value to your potential client, something that they think is like, oh my God, this is something that I need to have. And this could be like an ebook. This could be a cheat sheet. This could be like, a blueprint. It could be, some exercise videos that help somebody with a stubborn body part, whatever it is. And what you do is you can do a free lead magnet, or you can do a paid, but a free is like where you basically give it away to your audience. And then anybody that wants it, they're going to be like, oh my God, like this is the blueprint to losing my next 20 pounds. If, you're a XYZ, I'd be like, oh my God, I need that. So then they opt in. Then obviously you're going to collect their email information and sometimes a phone number. So you can do, SMS marketing, but also the email marketing. And then they get on your nurture sequence, and then you can continuously give them value. And now they're going to be in your world. So they're going to know all about you. So that's just a little brief description of why you want to be able to have lead magnets. And you want to have, typically, a lot of people have multiple lead magnets that kind of cater different pain points that your potential avatar are having. And that's something that can make organic and paid advertising both very effective. So what are your thoughts, Emanuel, on organic marketing versus paid marketing?
Well, it's a blend, and I think for some of it, like especially in health and fitness, you're usually, if you're brick and mortar, you're on a 3 mile radius. If you're online, then it really is more about psychographics, and so that's where you really want to be able to focus on who your ideal client is, and who you're able to help cleanly. And I think in fitness, there's a real challenge in terms of the business owners or the trainer wants to say, well, everybody needs this, right? Everybody's got a body, everybody's out of shape, everybody needs to lose weight, but we got to get a little more granular than that to be able to start creating stories and messages, and that's the good part for the organic side is this. I don't want to call it brand building, but it's a expertise building for that individual or that group of trainers or gym. Where the pay-per-click side can be more transactional, and you could be, like we do a lot of a kind of a trial pack of training, right? So 3 sessions for a certain price, or 1 session for a price that's a little bit lower to get them into the flow. And then after that pack is exhausted, then that's where you can upsell them into a standard pack once you've established that you've got the routine with them and they're getting initial results.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's always good, you guys, to have your organic going. It doesn't really matter what stage of the business that you're at. You still want to have your organic, right? Even if you have your paid ads running, because people can just go back to your socials and see really all about your business and your branding and those kind of things and get indoctrinated in there. And obviously organic is going to be key when you're first starting off. if you don't have a ton of money and resources to be
Yeah.
able to scale with paid ads. Paid ads is something that, once you kind of find what's working, what are the lead magnets that are working, if you have an offer that's really good or a VSL or whatever it is that's working really well, then you can crank that up. But in the beginning, you have to know that when you start paid advertising, it may not work right away. There's going to be a lot of adjustments that you might need to make, and you have to be able to have the resources where it doesn't break you for the first month or two if you're not on positive ROAS, right, return on ad spend. So what would you suggest, Emmanuel, is like a good starting point for somebody to be at X amount of revenue before they actually start dipping into their paid ads?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think paid ads are at a point where for $50 you could test and get your feet wet and understand how it works. Once you have a few $1,000s, $10,000 a month in revenue, then you can sign up and get some help from some of these AI tools. And I can get a link into one of those for you to put in the show notes, where for $80 a month, it's generating the ads, it's generating personalization, and it's A/B testing everything. And then so for a very small amount of money, you're getting a very high level of pay-per-click testing, in addition to your spend. So I'd say right from the get-go, as soon as you have extra $50 a month, you want to get into paid ads, because you're going to generate sales from that in a short amount of time, typically.
Nice. I love that, man. So like dipping in early, because I know some coaches are like, hey, wait till you're at a certain price point. But obviously if you have the right type of setup, and depending upon what you're trying to do with your ads, but I know there's some AI tools that will actually help you with your ad creation and help you
Yep.
run your ads and all those kind of things. What are some AI tools, man? Because I know you're big into the AI. What are some AI tools that are exciting you right now that are just like, if you're not already using these or checking these out, then you got to check it out.
Well, anybody who's training online should be using Otter or something similar, Otter AI or something similar, where you're transcripting those sessions, and then you have an immediate email that you can send in 2 minutes to the client to praise them, talk about success, and then go back over whatever assignment you've given them in between the sessions with them. So Otter or something similar to that is critical. What do you use that's like Otter?
I have what is it? Something AI. Let me. I have to find it in here. It's called Fathom.
Yeah, Fathom, right?
Yeah.
That's one
So
of
it's
them. Sure.
basically the same kind of thing. It'll transcript your whole session that you're doing, all of your coaching, everything will be all broken down for you. And it's really good. It actually chunks it down into like when you're speaking to direct, to different people and things in there too. So you can make it granular, and it's free. It's a free tool that you can
Yeah.
use as well. So
So that's important, is that you're going to keep track of every one of your sessions, and then you're building assets also, because that becomes a lead magnet for that type of client, with a little bit of nurturing of that content. Obviously, some version of the large language models like ChatGPT or Claude. I personally like Perplexity the best, because it does a great job of getting really fresh content, and then it brings back the sources, so you can go and go look at the citations and make sure that what Perplexity said about those citations is accurate, and that it's a source that you also find value in. And so for any kind of position papers, white papers, checklists, blog posts, or any other kind of content like that, that's a great source of strong content.
Okay. Yeah. And if you're not using ChatGPT, you guys, oh my gosh. I know some coaches, they're like, I don't know how to use ChatGPT. Oh my God. If you're not using ChatGPT, get on the ChatGPT. It can help you with everything. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to train your ChatGPT. So you're going to want to tell it everything about your business, your mission statement, who you help, what your offer is, what your business is all about, how long you've been in business, like really in-depth avatar work. So who's your ideal type of client? What are the demographics? What are the psychographics? What are the things they tell themselves? And then it will just like do amazing things. You can create lead magnets with it. You can have it create your email sequences, really good ones too. Your Facebook ads. You can use it for, social media posts. Or if you wanted to rewrite things, maybe you're not the best copywriter, the best speller, it can just go in there and just revamp everything and make it really, really clean. So I love ChatGPT. I use it probably too much for a lot of different stuff. Is there any other AI tools that you can think of, Emmanuel, that that people don't know about that they might want to start knowing about?
Well, we look at also like something like Opus Clips
Yeah.
or Clipscribe, right? So that as we do shoot video, we need to edit video, then we're going to put it into something like that, like Opus, to clean it up, clip it up, and then distribute it to the various social channels.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know about Opus, oh my God, check out Opus. It's freaking badass. So what happens, you can film a long form content. So for example, if I wanted to put this video of this podcast and put it in Opus, which I'll probably do, it'll chop it up into probably 20 or 30 shorter videos. So you can use them as reels, you can put them in your stories, it'll chunk them out. It'll tell you according to virality score, like how it'll actually rank every one of your clips in there too. And you can edit those clips and do different things in there. It'll also put all your transcriptions in there. So if you want to have all your, all the copy, which you're probably going to be seeing right here. If you're watching the replay, you're going to be seeing this because it's probably done inside there. CapCut is another one. Yep. That I really like as far as a video editor, because they now have the AI where it'll transcribe all your videos in there and you can do all the different styles of captions and things in there too. So CapCut and Opus are my two favorite as far as, diving into that. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good starter pack of tools. And then, the other thing I want to bring up is that everybody should be doing exactly what you and I are doing right now, which is being on podcasts. And that is the simplest way to create subject matter expertise and tons of content to be able to post to socials. And there's over 1 million podcasts out there. They're always looking for an angle on health and fitness. And so get familiar and get comfortable being able to talk about these topics that you're an expert in.
Yeah, get on podcasts, you guys, if you're not already doing it. Transcribe, get connected with people, because what's going to happen is you're going to build each other's audiences as well, right? So if you invite somebody who has your audience and you have theirs, you're going to help each other grow, because then when you post it to your socials, then you're going to help them see, obviously their audience is going to be able to see it and vice versa in there too. So you grow exponentially. So think about if you're on like hundreds of podcasts, like Emmanuel, I was talking to you earlier, you're like, I've been on hundreds of podcasts. And so with that, you can imagine how his name is going to be all over the place. So the authority is going to go from here to here just from being on the podcast. So it's basically like free exponential advertising, and you meet some cool ass people. So you can do some cool things. And then you have all this social media content that you're going to be able to use. And obviously you can chop some of this up. You can use it for email sequences. You can, direct people to your podcast from your emails, from your social media channels. It's just like one of those things in there. I should have been doing a podcast earlier. Everybody's been asking in here too. So, Emmanuel, next thing I kind of wanted to dive into that a lot of solopreneurs do is they're doing everything by themselves in the beginning, right? And then eventually, if you want to scale and you want to really grow, you're going to have a team. So at what point do you suggest a solopreneur, whether that's online trainer, online coach, online business owner in general, be able to finally say, hey, I need to build a team? What would be the first hire that you would recommend? Is that an appointment setter? Is that a VA to help out with tech work, set up funnels, automations? And at what point of the business? I know it's kind of a lot. But.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good question. The most efficacious way to go about it is to find a fractional that you can spend an hour or 2 hours a month with for strategy, and make sure that you've got a strong foundation with all your messaging. Like you rattled off the list of things that you should put into ChatGPT, and most solopreneurs do not have those things, right? So the actual first step is to ask Chat to help you build. What are your ICPs? What's our unique value? What's our selling proposition? What offers should I be making to this ICP? What are my price points? some of those really fundamental questions, and then you actually have the information that you could then go into the next phase with, right? So the strategic alignment of everything is the most critical thing.
Oh wow, I am getting a tsunami warning.
Oh, geez,
You
that's
guys,
exciting.
yeah, you guys can hear that. So I'll have to edit that part out. Yeah, so, and I'm not even wow, I'm not even near the ocean, so
Okay, wow.
crazy.
Hopefully that's not real.
Yeah, in there too. And then thank you very much for that. Yeah, so important to be able to make that transition in there too. So really it's up to you. Like, do you love doing a lot of the tech work? Do you love doing your own sales? Do you love, being in the DMs? Because obviously, if you're an online coach and you're looking to do things organically in the very beginning, obviously the social media content, you want to have, either yourself or somebody else that's going in there. All the people that are interacting with your content, those are your warm audience. So you want to have somebody that's actually going in there and maybe booking calls or doing a direct, what's called an MRO, which is a messenger ready offer, where you can have that. So you can actually start to generate some revenue coming in there too. So if you don't have time for that, you're too busy, or maybe you're at a place where you have a lot of clients and now you're ready to build a team, those can be some things that you can do. Obviously, you're going to want to set up a CRM and really have a nice business, at one stage in there. I love Fit Pro Solution. You can create all different type of funnels and automations and all kind of stuff in there too. And if you're not one of those super tech savvy people, then you can have, a virtual assistant go in there and do that. And you can hire VAs, from the Philippines. You can go to like onlinejobs.ph is one of the places you can go, and you can get them for, $5 an hour. And obviously they're already, a lot of them already have a pretty good background in using tools like Go High Level and things in there too. There's also Facebook groups and different type of, places where you can find good VAs, just depending upon if you want to go overseas and save some money, or if you want to go, locally. It might be a little bit more, but you might, depending upon what your needs are as far as that goes. Question for you, Manuel. So for those coaches that are in that like 5 to 10K per month, like that's their kind of revenue that they're generating, and they're having a hard time breaking through that 10K per month mark, what's some little motivation or words of wisdom that you can say, or different type of strategies that they should implement when you're working on scaling rather than just getting started in this?
Yeah, that's a great spot to be in, where you kind of get over that startup phase, and you've got a client base, and then you've got to grow into that next spot. Well, there's two things, right? Where we've got fractional help, both from marketing and from sales, and there's lots of places to get that fractional help, where you just get somebody for an hour or 2 hours and get refocused on next phase. I would say you really want to look at how can you buff out your lead magnets, and even to write a short book. It could be a 60-page book that is a meal planner, journal, and recipe book, but that you have a philosophy that you're bringing into that, and you have something printed that you can send out as a lead generation. You can also send it out online through the website, and then you have something very specific to talk about on podcasts, and you can generate content around that and further build your status as an expert, where you've taken a position, and that's what you're focused on.
Yeah, I love that. And if you're looking to create a bigger ebook, obviously, if it's something small, you can create that on something like Canva, right? Or there's another one called attract.io, where you can create smaller lead magnets. But if you go, there's a tool for $27 for a lifetime value. It's called Designer. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
It can create all different type of ebooks for you. And there's actually, now they just installed an AI tool. So it'll actually write the ebook for you. So you give it your prompts, it'll write your whole ebook for you for $27, right? And obviously there's only so much that it'll do. And they have their like pro plan where they get you to try to upgrade, but you don't need to upgrade. And that would be a great way where you can have a very attractive ebook, whether it's going to be 60, pages or something what's not super long. You don't want to have like a 300-page, ebook right off the bat. I mean, that might be something that you want to be able to build later on down the road. Like I'm going to give a quick plug. The Online Success Blueprint. Make sure you get your copy on Amazon, y'all. Okay, so after that shameless plug, you can create something that's going to be a little bit more simpler, like an e-version that would be in Designer. So, thank you so much for that. And then what about the mindset shift, Emanuel? So obviously you've been very successful. You have a large business and things. From when you started to maybe middle stage, not necessarily now, what are some mindset shifts that you had to make in order to continue to grow yourself?
Yeah, that's good. Well, the first thing is that I am a lifelong learner, and I always have been paying for education, consultants, continuing education. So, in the fitness world, you all do that a lot with getting your continuing education credits and taking more classes about fitness. But you gotta shift and say, well, do I want to be a trainer or do I want to be a business owner? And it's okay to say I want to be a trainer, and then you can build a situation where somebody else runs the business and you are the talent, and that's awesome if that's what you love. If you want to be the business owner, then you got to learn about business, and that's the first shift, right? Is not just a trainer, I'm also a business owner, and I got to work the back of the house, and then I have to learn about finance, I have to learn about HR, I have to learn about sales and marketing, I have to learn about legal, and how do I do that? Do I go and take the MIT business course that's free online? Do I have somebody locally that I can go and take classes from? Is there a junior college, or is there some kind of help through the SBA? Mm-hmm. That's the first shift, is say I've got to learn.
Yeah. And if we were to kind of summarize everything for somebody who's getting going, and they're looking to really make a change and really looking to get their online business going, what's one piece of advice that you would give to listeners who want to grow their online fitness business if they're kind of just been struggling to try to do it, themselves up to this point?
Yeah, I'd say get some help building success stories of people who you've had great success with. Get some user-generated content if you can from those really successful clients. Get them to shoot a video of themselves telling that story, and then use those success stories as the core of your both your regular social posts, and also in your pay-per-click activity.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that, man. And what would you tell somebody if they want to find out a little bit more about you, Emanuel, and maybe finding out a little bit about how you help businesses a little bit deeper? Where would they go?
Yeah, you can find me. You can type Emanuel Rose into Google, and that will get you to my website, emanuelrose.com, or you can go onto Amazon and check out my books there, marketing books, or on LinkedIn.
Okay. And what exactly, if you can summarize everything that you kind of do, what would be your main business that you help people with, so they would have a little bit more clarity on that?
Well, the name of the company is Strategic E-Marketing.
Okay.
And so we start from the strategy and the KPIs, the key performance indicators. We got to understand what marketing and sales issues you have, what the current reality is, what the goals are. Mm-hmm. And then we build that roadmap, and either the client with their team implements it, or my team implements the tactics.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds amazing. So if you want to check out Emanuel Rose, go to his website in there too. Feel free to ask him any questions, find out more about what he does. And if you are interested in growing your online fitness business and you're not sure where to start, then feel free to shoot me a DM, or you can go to tntfitprocoaching.com and find out more about the 9-step system and how we help coaches grow and scale their business online. I want to say thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. Make sure you tune into the next episode. And Emanuel, thanks so much for being here.
All right. Thanks, Tobias. I enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a tip or strategy to grow your online fitness business. And if you're ready to fast track your success, don't forget to check out tntfitprocoaching.com. Until next time,
Stay consistent, stay focused, and keep crushing it.